consider the famous Irish spectre, the Banshee. You may assume her story is straightforward and well known, but a closer look reveals many more layers to her tale. So sit back and let's delve into the enigmatic world of the Banshee, a figure that may still instill fear in the hearts of those in the most secluded corners of Ireland. Love mythology content on YouTube? Why not hit that like button and subscribe to Weird Mythology for weekly videos? Picture this. You're visiting a rural Irish farmer's home located in a village far from the bustling civilization. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? Now, keep in mind to ensure you're not amongst extreme traditionalists with sacrificial tendencies. It's a remote village after all. It's a dusky autumn evening and you're playing with the farmer's dog outside the house, a picture of serenity. Suddenly, a chilling, inhuman wail echoes from the nearby fence. The dog retreats fearfully and a chill of terror envelopes you as you contemplate your next move. Then you hear the house door creak ominously behind you, causing your heart to skip a beat. Fortunately, it's your host looking ominously towards his neighbor's house and murmuring under his breath. He reassures you, "Don't worry friend, it's just the Banshee. It appears Aldo Driscoll's time may be near. A shame, he was a good man." With curiosity piqued, you ask, "Who is this Banshee?" Your host invites you to sit and he begins to tell you a fascinating tale. He explains that the Banshee is a supernatural woman who appears and wails mournfully when a true Irishman is on the brink of death. This ethereal figure's cry is terrifying, capable of instilling dread in humans and animals alike. When her cry is heard, it foretells that the person she mourns for will die within the day or even hours, as seems to be the case for poor Aldo Driscoll. After the intriguing tale, you retire to your guest room, and sure enough, the next morning brings news of Aldo Driscoll's demise. Such narratives are common in Banshee folklore. The Banshee, it must be stressed, is a uniquely Irish entity. The Irish take pride in her lore, with some claiming that her equivalent can't be found in other cultures, although this isn't strictly true. But to respect the Irish sentiments, it can be conceded that the Banshee indeed has a distinct persona in the realm of mythical figures. She is well known as a portent of death. When an individual from an Irish family fall ill, the appearance or the sorrowful cry of the Banshee is taken as an omen that the person's demise is near. The Banshee isn't only associated with illnesses, she also signals imminent death caused by accidents, though these accounts are rarer. The term Banshee stems from English, translating to woman from the mounds, referring to the magical hills that serve as boundaries between worlds. However, the Irish referred to her as a Keena or a mourning woman along with various local names. An accurate depiction of the Banshee is elusive due to the varying accounts. One common trait though is her solitary presence. Traditional tales do not speak of multiple Banshees mourning a single death. Despite contradictions in eyewitness testimonies, a couple of prevalent depictions stand out. One describes her as a tall, stunning young woman with golden hair, garbed in beautiful attire, especially in tales from County Waterford, usually aimed at children. Some sources suggest that she appears as a young beauty if she holds the family in favor. If not, she transforms into an unpleasant, grotesque hag. However, such characteristics aren't mentioned in authentic folk stories, possibly because nobody wishes to portray their ancestor, who some believe the Banshee symbolizes, as unattractive. The more frequent image is of a petite aged woman with long grey hair. This depiction of an ancestral figure who is a predictor of death seems more logical. There's rarely any detailed description of the Banshee's face, which can be attributed to her twilight or nighttime appearances, and her face often being obscured by her long hair. One account described the Banshee's sighting as follows. She was a small woman in a long black cloak, with bare feet and long white hair hiding her face. She was sitting on Richard Berry's kitchen window, combing her hair and intermittently wailing. Richard Berry passed away 2 days later. Banshees are typically shown bareheaded, which was unusual for women traditionally covered their heads, except during mourning. Therefore, the Banshee's long, free-flowing hair is a crucial aspect of her image. The act of combing her hair is a common motif in legends, oddly ignored by 19th century folklore collectors. In Southeast Ireland, a popular tale involved someone taking the Banshee's comb. The origin of this death harbinger and her identity often remain unexplored, as the Irish rarely ponder over the spirit's genesis, deeming it insignificant. There are various theories surrounding the Banshee's origin. A less accepted theory is that the Banshee is a fairy, a concept predominantly found in children's tales. Folklore more commonly suggests that Banshees are the spirits of common women. One such notion associates the Banshee with the role of a keener, a professional mourner hired to cry loudly and dramatically over graves. One interpretation is that a keener failing in her duties becomes a wandering, restless spirit, continuing her profession beyond life. Another theory suggests that all keeners, having shown false grief not accepted by the Christian Church, transforms into banshees post-death. The most prevalent belief, however, is that banshees are the spirits of women closely related to the family whose death they announce, often considered a deceased family member. Consequently, it is believed that the banshee represents the spirit of the very family to whom she foretells death. Moving to the families often associated with banshees, they're typically of Irish descent. Their surnames usually prefixed with O or Mac. Also considered Irish are the Viking settlers and Anglo-Normans who established themselves in Ireland before the 17th century, the onset of Ireland's colonization. The period witnessed many lands seized from locals and granted to the English, hence it's understandable why banshees are exclusively linked to the Irish. In several Irish counties, it's believed that a banshee cannot be seen, but her cry can even be heard by the deaf. The banshee's wail is extraordinary. It eclipses all other sounds and is distinct from an ordinary woman's cries. More delicate than a human voice and exceptionally long-lasting, her cry is only heard by those meant to perceive it. Thus, two people standing next to each other may have different experiences. One hears the cry, the other one doesn't. In the same vein, those who are marked for death don't hear the banshee's cry. Hence, if you happen to hear the banshee's wail, rest assured, death isn't near you. Folklore traditionally holds that a banshee's cry is a series of unintelligible sounds and indistinct exclamations, often sounded a specific number of times, typically 3. The direction from which the banshee's sound originates and towards which it travels is a subject of immense significance. Some claim the sound emanates from all directions, impossible to pinpoint its source, while others suggest it comes from various directions with swift intervals. The banshee never cries twice from the same spot, making it impossible to locate her based on her voice alone. What does she do when she's not mourning the departed members of her assigned family? Does she traverse to another realm, or does she remain in ours? Some believe she resides in the afterlife, while others propose that she wanders in secluded areas, deeming her a nature spirit. Banshees tend to manifest in darkness or twilight, seeming to prefer transitional periods like midnight. Their apparitions also correlate with boundary-like spaces. It is common to spot them near a low fence separating fields, near streams used for crossing, or places for washing clothes, further cementing their connection with nature spirits. It is thus wise not to provoke a banshee, as it can lead to dire consequences. Not everyone believes in banshees. Some skeptics think their cries are just natural sounds. Some say it's the cries of cats or seals. Some even think it's the sound of foxes mating. I once met a scared elderly lady who mistook fox cries for the banshee's wail. Despite my explanation, I'm not sure she believed me.